Man, such a pleasure, Coach. Such a pleasure always. Blessing the show. I want to jump right into this, right? Because, I know there was some controversy that happened the other night, and I just happened to be in the building. I wasn't close enough to kind of hear what was going on, but of course, with a lot of contacts I have around the city, I got some footage of what was said and what happened. Can you talk about this?
Coach, I got a lot of text messages asking what's happening, what's going on.
It's just really, well, first of all, thanks for having me. I think it was just, two competitive coaches really at the end of the day, that was competing for first place, in their respective divisions, which is Brooklyn, Queens. And, things could have gotten a little heated on, one side, but, I try to keep my composure. Realistically, I did. And, things just flared, and, a ref reacted, whether it was overreacted or not. It was a scenario into which both coaches got ejected out of the basketball game, which is realistically is my first time ever getting ejected, especially in a situation where I didn't think that I deserved to be ejected, but it's a tough situation. Refs kind of see things in a certain light, and coaches and everybody else see something in a a totally different light. But granted, I really didn't say too much. I didn't react. I actually agreed, with him. But in the heat of the moment, things happen, and it is what it is at the end of the day.
You did agree, Coach. You really did agree. I'm gonna leave it like that. I could show the world that you agreed, but I don't want to put people on blast. I can really show the world that you agreed.
I mean, that might be something that I'm gonna joke around and put on a shirt. I agree. Because the whole conversation was just I agree.
You were saying that. I agree.
Granted, like I said, it is what it is. You get those situations and things happen. No matter what. Whether you agree with the scenario or not. It led into a 2-game suspension, and that's something that I'm disappointed in, because I hold myself, to a certain stature. I'm a high character guy. I coach the right way. I represent my school and myself and everybody that represent me, the right way. So, it's things that you live and you learn from everything that happened, whether it's good and bad or indifferent. Nobody has to agree with what you do and how you do it. But as long as you handle yourself, the right way, that's all that matters.
I appreciate that, Coach. And let me ask you something. As a guy who used to coach, what do you tell your team, especially as a surprise, Coach? You thought, even though you might have been heated, you didn't think that was going to happen. What do you kind of tell your coach or your coaching staff on the way out to kind of keep them locked in? Or was there anything that you kind of said or no?
Granted, obviously, honestly, I didn't say anything. I didn't say a word to my coaching staff. My coaching staff was right beside me the whole time, so they heard everything that was said and what wasn't said, and so I didn't have to. We knew the task at hand. I'm one of those coaches that I don't treat my coaches like assistant coaches. Everybody's their head coach and they right man, and we all adults. We all spend the same amount of time in the gym with the kids together. So my voice and their voice are the same. On paper, you see me as the head coach, but when it comes to credit, they know that it's no credit without them. So I didn't say anything. I had belief in my coaches that, they would handle business and the kids would play, the right way and, finish the game off. It's a competitive sport. First place is, on the line. Both coaches are gone, and, I believe in all the work that we put in as a coaching staff and what my kids do, as a whole.
Coach, you don't know how bad I want to show the world this video, but I don't want to, I respect both coaches and I don't want to do that. So, you don't know, I'm itching so bad.
I mean, the funny thing is, granted, I've been itching as well, but at this point in time, it's really not going to change the fact that
exactly.
It is what it is, and it's one of those things that you kind of put behind you, no matter what, and just continue to push and be the best you can be.
Yeah. So do you feel like you being treated fairly? This is your second year at the helm. Do you feel like you're being treated fairly by the Captain School League as a whole, for the most part?
I don't think nothing in life is really fair. You know what I mean? So that's not something that, really bothers me. I know you're supposed to take your bumps and your bruises, but granted, it's my first year in AA, but I've been in this league now 4 years, you know what I mean? And what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? The biggest thing is that I'm not going to change who I am. You know what I mean? It's going to be what you see is what you get on this end too. I'm a coach with passion. I'm a joke with the refs. You know what I mean? I'm going to question certain things just because of who I am as a competitor, who I am as a coach. And it's just something that I need answered because my players, expect me to be at 100% at all times. So it doesn't matter. As long as we hold ourselves accountable as a program, as a coaching staff and as my players, to play the right way, to not worry about how the game is officiated, just to, take it for what it's worth. If we can do that, we'll be okay. Worrying about if you treat it fair or not, what I mean? That's, that right there is, smoke under the bridge or whatever, because, we have goals, what I mean? And as long as we play the right way, win, lose, or draw, I'm happy for it. My goal is to make sure these young men go to college for free, their parents is not in debt, and they enjoy, their high school experience like I was able to enjoy and get to the next level.
Yeah, I think you guys' transition to the AA has been pretty easy for you guys. You guys have looked so sharp this year. You talk about sending guys to the next level. Me and Pooh talked about in the pre-show. Before we had you on, could you break down Mr. Rawlings' game and tell us how much of a big impact he's had on the team this year? He's a silent assassin. He's one of those guys to where you look at him and he, stuff the stat sheet, when it comes to points, rebounds, blocks, assists, steals. Everything.
He does it all. And I'm still fighting for him to be that aggressor because I think he's a 25-point scorer in this league.
Wow.
You know what I mean? In this city, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the city, if not the most underrated. I still don't think he gets the credit he deserves because he can guard a big, he can guard a point guard, he can guard a wing, he can block shots, he can defend the best, and he's still learning. He's still a kid that doesn't understand his potential, that's trying to be really coachable. But I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to get him to understand is that sometimes you have to be selfish, because when he's selfish, he's still going to make the right play and it's going to make us a better basketball team. So, he's one of those guys that from the outside, for the outsiders, he's amazing to coach. Just like any young kid, he's gonna, have his doubts, he's gonna have his struggles, but when you're able to talk to him, he understands the bigger picture, and that's the biggest thing about him that the city needs to understand, that he's a star in his own right, but he doesn't want the credit. He wants everything to be, team oriented, and that's what you can ask for a player of his caliber.
I'm gonna take it a little further, Coach. You got one of the top players in the country in Halon Rawlings. For real. Do you think with the rest of this year and then the summer coming, with him coming back next year, do you think he has a chance to become an All-American?
That's the goal. With every young man, that played the sport, obviously he has a coach that was able to, reach those goals. That wasn't ranked, that became an All-American, that became a top 3 guard in the country, so I know what it takes. And in this day and age, you get kids that are content. You get kids that listen to the outside hype of their friends or their families or, just everybody on social media. I think if he's in the gym 24/7, working on his game, working on his handle, working on his jump shot, working on his body, he's going to be one of those people. Granted, he has an All-American type skill and talent, but sometimes being an All-American doesn't solidify, anything. I want him to be noticed as one of the best players in the country, but his path might be a little bit different, and it might not be an All-American, but it might be to where he's one of the people that everybody overlooked, and when you see it down the line in 2-3 years in college, he's one of the best players in college, and has a chance to reach his potential of and his goals of being a NBA prospect. I think that's the realistic goal. Just because he's so unselfish that he's going to get overlooked. You have to be a certain player with a certain mentality to reach All-American status. You have to have, the hype behind your name, and what it takes. The politics is a big part, in what we do. So he has all of that behind him, and I'll put him up against anybody. No matter what. Not saying it because he's just my player, but if you look at him, he's one of those players to where he could fit in with an All-American. He could fit in with 5 top 25 players and still make his name felt. You see what he did in New York versus New York with,
Sir.
best in the country, and he looked like the best on the court. You understand, who got MVP with all of the rest of the talent that was on there. So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to him. Not really short-term goals, just to get better day by day, 1% of the day to get better.
Yeah, he's definitely that type of talent, and I love to hear it, especially since he's such a quiet kid, Coach. So I love to hear you, talking about him and telling the world how good he potentially could be. Also, I just want to give you another chance. Is there any other guys kind of on the roster this year, kind of under the radar as well, who's kind of been a sleeper on your team, who's really helped with Nazareth's success this year?
Man, it's kind of hard, because I have 14 guys that dedicate their time, their love, their passion into what's going on, and I'm one of those coaches that, it's kind of hard to, pinpoint who's been doing what, because out the rest of the players that's playing in practice to get the top guys better, and day in and day out. Tristan Rogers, I got a few that I want to name. Tristan Rogers is realistic. He's one of them because he's one of those other quiet assassins. I think one of the best shooters in our city. He leads the right way. He played basketball the right way. I'm still, trying to get him to, be more aggressive because he shoots so well, and, he could do a lot of things on the basketball court. But he's one of those guys that's under the radar. Joseph Jennings, who's a junior guard who can play every position. He's definitely, I don't care what anybody says, he's the top defender in our city. 6'3", long arms, very physical, very strong, can guard a post player. He plays the right way, off ball screens, attacking the basket, posting up small guards. Caden Francis, is one of those guys that people don't know his name yet. And he's only a sophomore and he's trying to figure it out. Played JV last year, at South Shore, transitioning from a big man to a wing, can shoot the ball. He's very athletic, but he's trying to find himself. But when it's all said and done, he's going to be one of the best players in that class. I think my season changed a lot when Elijah Withers became a starter. I started going with a 3-guard alignment. He's one of the best skilled players in our city, and people don't know because he's still playing a little mind tricks with himself, and just let it all out, just all the work you put in, and that's the reason we won 9 out of 10 games is because he's been the aggressor, he's been the leader, attacking the basket, making tough shots, and doing a few things. Like my whole nucleus of players have been really, really good for us. Jacob Roman, who was our second leading, third leading scorer for the last 2 years, right now at the end of the season is figuring it out. Had 21 points in a big game at Scanlon after coming off of a back-to-back versus St. Francis, the night before. So I think the list goes on, and just like Nazareth is under the radar and doesn't get the respect that it deserves, and in due time is going to happen. That's how I feel about my players. I think I have some of the top players in our city that doesn't get the just due. And if you look at it, we came from the A, and a lot of these players that came from that's playing right now, nobody wanted them. And these the same players that today on February 2nd at 8:47 is the first place team in Brooklyn, Queens right now, because of the underdog mentality that they coach have, that he doesn't care and he's going to get in the gym with these kids and we're going to work and we're going to grind and we're going to, blank out the noise of anybody in the city and we just going to put our head downs and, put on our hard hats and continue to get better.
Y'all still top 10 on my list, Coach. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all still top 10 on the basketball heads list.
Granted, real quick, I'm a little humble, but top 10 ain't good enough. We're top 3 in the city. Like
I was going to say, I got you at least in the top 5.
That's just humbly speaking.
Wait till you see that when the end results come, right? I'm about to put on another list, but I get you, Coach. I get you.
Like it's more for them. It has nothing to do. Like I don't want the credit. It's all these kids that like coaches coach and players play. I put down a scheme. I put down the plays. I put down the plan, and they go ahead and go execute. And a lot of people don't really understand that. And like Brett just said, it's about a culture, and the culture is, the strength is in numbers, and we're going to do everything the right way, and we're going to hold each other accountable. And the success is going to start to come. Obviously, we're doing good things, and we're not content, with just being here. It's about, continuing the progress every day, and not just as a varsity team, but as a program within, itself. My freshman is in 3rd place. My JV team is in 1st place, and in the Brooklyn Queens as well.
You see, I bought the tiger out of Coach, right? Yeah, I bought the lion out. Hey, Coach.
It don't take much.
Hey, listen. I think you're one of the best teachers as far as coaching the game in the city, and going back to the other night, the way your guys executed against a very good Christ the King. What coaches inspire you right now? What coaches inspire you?
That's a good one. I mean, the funny thing is, I was just on the phone with Mo Hicks right before I actually came in my house. And obviously Mo Hicks, because he was a great coach in the PSAL and in the Catholic League. Obviously, I'm in the Catholic League right now. I hear a lot of people saying Nazareth is the I'm the Mo Hicks 2.0, and Nazareth is Rice, but he's one of those guys that recently, not like, that I respect and, kind of, like want to be able to get the same success. Obviously, the person that convinced me to coach, Tiny Morton. He was the one that convinced me. He's my mentor. I talk to him a lot, just about the success and really the failures, because I don't think you can't become a great coach without failures. I don't know what young coach would have, continued to, push through after having a first season of winning 3 games, and then continue year after year to build and get better. Obviously, last but not least, Larry Major. Like I take a lot out of his book. I was just telling Coach Hicks that I run double fist. That was something that when I looked at my film in high school to do my documentary, and I see that Coach Major was calling it double fist. So there's a lot of things that I take after, a lot of people. Obviously, it's Black History Month, and there's a lot of people that don't know, but those is 3 Black powerful men that did a lot for our community and our culture, and I'm just trying to continue that on and kind of allow Mage to look down from above and smile and be proud of what I've done on and off the court, so I'm just trying to continue his legacy in my own way.
Doing a great job, G.
Appreciate that.
Coach, you got any more questions for Coach?
No, I was just saying he's definitely proud of you, and to be Hicks 2.0, I mean, you gotta love that title, right, Coach?
Definitely. At some point, I gotta have that success. I gotta win some championships, and the biggest goal is realistically for me, and a lot of people coach for it, is not the championships within itself. Is how many kids that I can get to reach their goals. And, some people's goals are really high and, and above reach, but I'm going to continue to allow them to reach through me and understand that don't limit yourself just because you feel like you're a Division I talent and it doesn't happen that way. Doesn't mean that you're not a success story. You can use Division III, Division II, and continue to build to get better. In this day and age, it's transfer portals that, you just missed out on a Division I scholarship because they didn't have one this year, or they needed a point guard and you a 2 guard, and you just gotta work and work and work. What's for you is what's for you. We're gonna continue to build, and at some point I'm gonna be able to be one of those people that when you look back to be like, he did it his way, he did a great job, but he was a success story to all of the kids that he played for, and not just to win basketball games, because that's realistically the least of my worry.
Coach, are you retiring from street ball?
This is just funny because I was just talking about this today and yesterday with my kids.
We're not gonna turn to the G Ervin interview, but I just need to know that because, man, you've been rocking and rolling these last 2 summers.
That's a good question.
Honestly speaking, I've been contemplating, and I'm really leaning on not playing this summer more than I am playing this summer. I got a little bit of nagging injuries. I got broken bones in my fingers, and I think I've had a pretty good career. I won the championship last year. I want to enjoy it, and I want to be one of those guys to be able to allow the youth to play unlimited, like I was able to play unlimited as a 16-year-old playing with Kenny Kings, because I think that was a lot of my success, was playing with older people, getting smarter as a basketball player, getting more physical, having to read and learn the game. So as much as I love it, I can't say I'm 100% done, but I can say I'm 90 something percent sure that I won't play this year, and it's just because like I don't have nothing to prove, at the end of the day.
You give so many great answers, man. I'm just gonna ask one more, and then I'm gonna get you up out of here. How can we get some of our college guys or some of the unlimited guys to play against some of the high school guys to get them better? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think a situation like that will be beneficial for high school kids, having them play against and just like pick up and good classic runs,
Yeah, organized. Yeah.
Yes.
100%. I do it at NAS. I already do it throughout the off season, and sometimes I get 5 or 6 people to come practice against our high school kids. But I think that it's big for the culture. A lot of people, I won't say don't give back, but don't really have the time because they have families after coming overseas and doing things. But I think for us to become one of to be the best again in New York City when it comes to high school basketball, we have to have the younger people and the people that's playing in college and overseas to come back, because that's what the kids need, because they're not able to go to the parks right now with so much violence in our city and the things that's going on, to play against adults and things like that. And it's so unfortunate. So we have to find a way to bring the talented older guys to come into the gym so that we're able to proceed with getting our youth better and tougher and understanding the game, and being able to have those people in arm's reach that's playing for a living and making a living for their families to come around, so these kids to see their arms reach, so that now they have something to play for. And I would just shout out Lance Stevenson, because this year, and even Isaiah Whitehead for talking to a lot of our kids and coming to the gym, but Lance Stevenson for working out at midnight with Halon Rawlings, and kind of teaching him a few things and talking to him and showing him how good he could be. I think that that's big for the culture. And I just want to shout out him because I thought that was really dope. And we need more people to do that like him.
No doubt. Great job, Coach. Thanks for having you on, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way, my man.
Thanks. Salute.
No doubt. For sure. But what I want to do now, I want to show some highlights from the other night. It's only right that I do it. It's only right that I do it. These guys play hard the other night. Coach, I almost clicked on the wrong video, right? Because I still had that. So let me go back and cut this out.
I was gonna say easy.
Yeah.
It looked familiar.
You trying to get Coach another 2 games now?
No, I'm not gonna get Coach in trouble. We're not gonna do that. Hold on. Here we go. It was that.
We only gave him 1 tech tonight anyway, so he's all right.
Yeah. Look at that boy pull up. That give and go is crazy. How giving goals is crazy, man. When they give that ball up, the guys cut, they get it right back. Y'all ready?
Hey,
Coach,
thanks for having me. I appreciate y'all, man.
no doubt, man.
Enjoy the
Thanks
rest
for
of
coming
the
on,
week.
Coach.
Appreciate
Gary
it.
Ervin.
Y'all ready?